Welcome to Coming Out the Darkness, Step 3. My name's Ashley Pike. Welcome back, guys. This is Step 3. It's the final step. And in this step, I'm going to be going over quite a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of content. It's really just going to be rounding off this program, but giving you probably some of the most important tips and skills that you can use to basically live the most happiest and fulfilled life. Now, I just want to first of all thank everyone who's been listening to this program, and it really is an honor to serve so many people. And I've got to say that anyone that's probably anyone that's benefited from this program, I just want to say thank you. I'm hugely honoured to have served you, and I know it's tough times at the moment with the coronavirus and everything. So this is probably needed more than more than some of my other program that I've done. This is more needed at the moment, I believe. There's probably a lot of people that are feeling depressed at the moment in low states, and this is this program can really help you. It really can. So if this is the first time you're listening to it, I want you to go back and listen to step 1 and 2, because you need to listen to those before you come to step 3, essentially. But yeah, I just want to give a kind of an overview of the program so far. So obviously in step 1, we taught you how to recognize your emotions, what they are, what they're telling you, and basically the solution to that. Step 2, we taught you how to recognize your expectations in life and how your expectations can affect how happy you are, and basically how to rewrite those expectations in your brain, rewrite that software in your brain, and so that you can live the most empowering life. What's step 3 going to be about? Well, there's going to be a lot in this step that you're going to learn, and you may have to listen to it maybe a few times to take it all in, but maybe pause the audio during it if you want to practice a few of the kind of tips and that I'm going to give you. But essentially, I'm going to get straight into it. So there's an important quote by Nietzsche, and basically he said, if you have a big enough why in life, you can bear any how. That's roughly what the quote is. So basically what that means is that if you have a big enough reason in life, a big enough goal, a big enough purpose, then you can bear any challenge in life, and it won't matter what it is, you will overcome it. So we're going to be going into a little bit about goal setting in this, and how important that is to live the most fulfilled and happiest life. And I think just the number one goal you need to have, first of all, is every single day, your daily goal should be to be happy no matter what. No matter what happens in your life that day, you need to strive to be happy. And that can be through, and you may be saying, well, what about if someone dies? What about if my kid gets hurt? If because obviously anything can life will throw everything at you, especially when you're trying to be positive. It will throw everything at you. And I'm not saying you don't, in those situations, if someone did die or something like that, someone passed away or something, then you don't grieve. Yes, that's an important part of life, that you do grieve, but it doesn't mean you can't maybe see the positives of something in that day. So I think it's really positive. Another goal you should set yourself, I think, is to think every time you wake up, you should think of 3 things that you're grateful for. Because Tony Robbins says it best, that you cannot feel depressed, you cannot feel low when you're feeling grateful. Honestly, try it. When you're feeling grateful, when you're feeling low about something, think of something you're grateful for in that situation. And I guarantee that whilst you're doing that, think of 3 things you're grateful for in that situation. You won't feel low during that period, and you'll start to feel a lot better. But yeah, think of 3 things you're grateful for every single morning, and maybe every time you go to bed too. Think of 3 things you're grateful for that day. But also think of 3 positive things before you go to sleep every night. Think of 3 positive things that have happened that day. If you can think like that, you will live a so much more happier life. You'll be able to overcome any kind of challenge if you can think like that. I'm not going to say there is going to be times when everything's just going wrong, but those are the times when you've really got to fight it, and you've got to say to yourself, well, what positives can I see in this situation? So I'll give you an example. Just say you lost your job, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I can't afford my mortgage, I can't afford so and so, this is the worst news ever. But just think to yourself, what positives could I take out of that situation? Well, it's easy for me to say right now because I haven't lost my job. But I suppose positives I could try and think right now if I was in that situation would be, well, there's a great saying, there's one door closes, another one opens. So maybe this losing my job is a good thing. Maybe this is gonna take me to the next level. This is gonna take me to a job where I really enjoy it, and I'll really excel. Maybe it gives me, that's one positive. If you can just think of one, that would be great. But try and think of 3. So what would be the second positive of losing your job? Well, maybe if you didn't like the place where you worked, it could be that it's actually freed you of something. It's actually freed you of that job. It's freed you of that burden it was giving you and actually making you unhappy. And maybe a third positive could be that although you're going to be looking for another job, it gives you a bit of time with your kids, or your partner. And although it's stressful, it will also help you to appreciate, when you do have a job, it'll help you to appreciate the times. It'll help you to appreciate when you have got money, essentially. So those are maybe 3 positives you could think of in that situation. But get in the habit of thinking positively all the time. But going back to goals, so you need to have goals in life, in all scenarios in life. So it's not just you want to be happy every single day. Yeah, that's got to be your number 1 goal. You're happy no matter what. But also you've got to have a big enough why in all kind of situations in life. So that can be relationships. So you've got to have relationship goals. So if you're in a relationship, it could be that your ultimate relationship goal is to get married at the end. If you're married already, then it could be that you're going to that basically you just want to be the best partner you can be every single day. That's your goal. Now, if you're not in a relationship, it could be to get a relationship, to find someone, and find your soulmate this year. That could be your goal. Secondly, you've got to have financial goals. So you've got to have a goal for where you want to be financially in life. You've got to have a goal for your career goals. You've got to have a goal for your actual personal goals. So what kind of things do you want to do in life? Like adventure-wise, do you want to go? What kind of places do you want to travel to? What kind of, you've got to have health goals. So where do you want your body to be in the next year? If you have these kind of goals and you set yourself maybe a 5-year goal, or 5-year goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and then daily goals, you've got a purpose in life. You've got that big enough why, and the goals have got to be big, audacious goals. And I say this because all your 5-year goals have got to be audacious goals. Audacious you can think of. Don't just try and aim for something that's realistic. Aim for something that's not so realistic. So you've got a purpose in life. You're driving towards something. Now that doesn't mean that if you don't achieve it in 5 years that you are not happy, because your number one goal, remember your number one goal, no matter what, is to be happy. So remember that. And remember, going back to your expectations, that your expectations do not mean that if you don't achieve that goal in 5 years' time, that you're not going to be happy. Your expectations are you expect to be happy every single day, no matter what. That's what your main expectations got to be. That's what your main goals got to be in life. But the reason I say I have audacious goals and go for as high as you can go with your goals. Now that might be, for some people, the most audacious goal they can think of, it might be that they just want to own their own house, and that's fair enough. If that's the most audacious thing that you can think of, that's fair enough. I'm not here to tell you what your dreams are. I'm not here to tell you what success means to you. I'm here just literally to help you and guide you, and just basically give you the main tips on how to be free of all those lower states and depression and how to be happy every single day. This is what the program's all about. So have a purpose, write down your goals. I'm not going to go too much into goal setting because it's not the very most important thing. Well, it is very important, but it's not the be all and end all. The main thing you need to do is just make sure that you have the expectation of being happy every single day. Like I said in the last step, that's just your number one goal. If you just want to write that goal out first of all and get your life in order first, just write that goal and then start writing out maybe mini goals. If you find it too much pressure to write out these audacious goals too early, then just write yourself out some mini goals. Write yourself out some monthly goals. I think it's important though to have a yearly goal. I think it really is, because you have a direction in life. You need a direction, you really do. And that's what Niche was saying, that you need a big enough why in life. And when you write down the goals, I want you to write down why you want to achieve that and what it's going to give you, because you need to know what kind of benefits that's giving you in life. You need to know why you want that. As it says, a big enough why, and you can bear any how. Another big thing I should say, and I should have probably said this in step 1, is that one major thing before making any change, you need to make sure you're in the right state. Now, I'm going to give you a few ideas of how to change your state in a moment or so. But what is state essentially? So your state, the state you're feeling, is how you're going to perform in life, basically. So if you're in a lousy state, then you're going to get lousy results. But if you're in a powerful, confident, happy state, then you're going to get the very best results. You may still fail, but at least you'll fail and you'll try again because you're in that kind of state. Now, how do you get into that state, essentially? It's very easy, to be honest. There's so many ways of doing this, but again, Tony Robbins teaches this, that basically your physiology is key to how you feel in life. As Tony Robbins says, motion creates emotion. So the way you use your body is key to how you will feel in life. So I want you to quickly think about how you feel when you're in a depressed state. So how's your body? What's your kind of like body language when you're in a depressed state? Are you kind of like, if you're sitting down, you slumped? Is your head down? What's your facial expressions like? Are they glum? Is your eyes feeling heavy? What kind of things do you say to yourself in your mind? Are you saying to yourself that have you got powerful messages coming through in your mind, or are they just like putting you off? Are they telling you bad things in your mind? Are you saying that you can't live with this much longer? Why always me? So what kind of when you're in a depressed state, what kind of self-talk do you say to yourself in the mind? Now, I'm assuming that if you're doing this right now, that you're probably feeling quite depressed. Now, I want you to get out of that. I now want you to think about how you feel when you're in the most powerful, confident, happy state. What kind of body language do you use? So when you talk, when you walk, do you strut? Is there a bit of kind of is there much more energy in your steps? Are you do you sit upright, or do you stand upright when you're in a confident and happy state? Do you what kind of thoughts go through your mind when you're in a happy state? Are they empowering, positive, really good, positive talk in your mind? How do you think about your self-talk when you're in a positive mood? And if you've never been in this mood, which I'll be very surprised if you've never been in this state before, but if you never have, how would you feel if you were in that state? So now go into that. Think about it. Do you feel more confident now? I bet you do, because if you don't, I'll be very much surprised. Just by changing your physiology, just by standing upright, smiling in the mirror even, just smile in the mirror for 5 minutes each day, you will feel much more better. It's just a way of changing your state. Change your emotion, and you will change your emotion. Honestly, just by changing your physiology, you can change the way you feel. This is why so many people, to a quick way of changing your state and to make sure you're in the right state every morning is to do exercise, because you'll get yourself right into the right state as soon as you get up. Basically, when you exercise, your blood's flowing, it's releasing endorphins into your body, which is basically a happy hormone. Well, I think it's a hormone. It's a happy. It's basically a happy. Well, I think it's a hormone that your body produces. Endorphins are, but yeah, it releases all these this happy energy into your body. So if you try and do an exercise every morning, because that'll put you in the right state. Another thing that Tony Robbins does, he does an ice bath each day, or it's like a nice bath type thing that he goes in each day. And that apparently, well, I've tried it myself, to be honest, before. Not a bath, but a nice shower, a cold shower. And it does, surprisingly, when you get out, you're almost laughing, because your body goes into kind of shock, but you tense all up, and it puts you into kind of a powerful state. It's unbelievable, really, to be honest. But watching comedy will put you into a happy and powerful state. Another good thing I'm going to say is that watch what you're watching in life. If you get up each day and your first thing is to switch on the news, stop doing that. I know we're in unprecedented times at the moment with everything that's going on with the coronavirus, and I'm not saying don't keep up to date with that, but don't switch on the news first thing. I try and avoid the news if I can help it. The reason being is because it's so negative. You won't hear many positive things in the news. So try and avoid negative stuff, and maybe start your morning by doing an exercise. You could listen to a bit of music. So that, when I mean music, I mean upbeat music, not stuff that's depressing. Listen to upbeat music, stuff that's going to get you into a happy state. There's other ways of also, as I say, you can change your physiology. You can do what we just did there, like in terms of thinking how you feel when you're positive. Act like you're positive, act like you're confident and happy. Just by acting like it, you will start to feel it. It's unbelievable. Find someone that you think is very confident and happy and just model their physiology. And what we mean by model is copy what their physiology is. And you will just start to feel more happier. So that's all about state change, and it's key to it's really key to essentially achieving in life. Now, another thing, when you're doing that exercise like I just done, like thinking powerful, like thinking how you feel when you're in a confident mood, you want to anchor that. And now what an anchor is, you're essentially, you can set anchors simply by maybe squeezing your thumb and your middle finger together. When you're feeling a really positive, in a really positive and confident mood, just squeeze your thumb and your middle finger together while you're in that really positive mood, or just thinking about something positive when you're in a positive mood before. And when you get those feelings of positivity and confidence and happiness, squeeze your middle finger and your thumb and your middle finger together, and that will create. If you do it maybe 3 or 4 times in a row, even maybe more, you will start to create an anchor. So whenever you squeeze your thumb and your middle finger together, you will start to feel those feelings straight away. That's a great way of setting an anchor. So we're coming towards the end of this step now. I think another good thing is you need to come up with a 2-minute rule. So whenever you're feeling in a negative state, I want you to come up with a 2-minute rule. So first of all, I want you to change your state first of all. So do what we did before. All the kind of methods I said before. You could go for a run, do some kind of exercise, but maybe just try doing the one we just did, like thinking about how just start acting confident, start acting happy and confident and in the most empowering state, and just think how you feel when you're actually in that state. And once you're in a state of confidence and happiness in your most empowering state, this is when you need to make the change. So you make a 2-minute rule. So you spend a minute just thinking of everything, how you feel when you're confident. So then you're in that mood, and the other minute you use to actually identify what the emotion is that's making you feel low. Find out what it's telling you and find out what the solution is. That is a great 2-minute rule. So you need to start doing this, and you need to do it on a consistent basis until it becomes the norm. Now that's it. That is literally it. That is coming out of the darkness. That is the final step. I want to thank everyone who's been listening to this. I told you it was going to be a bit longer, this step was, and I know there was a lot to take in, so I appreciate that. You may need to listen to it again, or I appreciate if you've paused it throughout. I would encourage that, because there is a lot to take in during this step. But again, I want to thank everyone for listening to the program. If you listen to all the steps throughout, and I encourage you to listen to all the steps, because you can only really, you're only really going to achieve happiness by listening to all those steps. Because there's a lot to take in when it comes to this. The brain's very complex. But yeah, thank you for listening. My name's Ashley Plugin. Again, I'm a life coach, and I just want to say that I am offering now coaching. So anyone that wants coaching, please contact me on SLC, which is my Facebook page. And soon there will be I will be adding my website onto SLC, so you'll be able to look on my website and contact me on my mobile. But thank you very much for listening, and live with love, passion, excitement, and gratitude. Thank you very much.